I want to pour one out, James.
Okay.
It's a sad day. R.I.P. to Lauri Markkanen trade rumors.
Oh,
It was a really great run, but it's all over, folks.
Reporting
today from The Athletic that Lauri Markkanen is planning not only to sign an extension with the Utah Jazz, he is planning to sign it tomorrow. That's on August 7th, which ensures that which ensures that he will not be traded this season. He legally, if he signs his contract on August 7th, cannot be dealt in the 2024-2025 season.
Yeah, this has kind of been like the reporting over the last week that this is probably what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, it's disappointing for people who are out there who want Lauri Markkanen on their team. But I also, I want to see what the end looks like here, what the contract extension looks like. They're probably going to do what they did with the Kings did with Sabonis, where they renegotiate and then extend him. And they're going to do that right now. And then because of NBA rules, if you're signing an extension, you have to wait 6 months before you can trade a player.
Mm-hmm.
Today is 6 months from the trade deadline. Tomorrow is 1 day past the trade deadline, so you wouldn't be able to trade him. I'm intrigued. I want to see what the money is. And look, we always talk about this with players, and you start to fall in love with a specific player, but his contract, how much you love him at 18, 19 million with the potential to sign him for like a 30 or $35 million extension,
mm-hmm.
and how much you love him at 40 plus million that goes up to 50. I mean, maybe that's a different type of commitment that you would want to give to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's kind of a sad day because we've lived in a world where there was potential for Lauri Markkanen trades for the last 2 years. And now they're probably not.
They're done. They're all done. We had a great run.
We did.
Do you think the Kings were ever close?
Yeah, I think there was at least, if anyone is close, but I think the problem that you have is that no one ever really knows what Danny Ainge is doing and what his true design is for his team. Mm-hmm. And we can think that they were close. The reporting can be that, they were the closest, but I also believe that Danny Ainge was never going to trade him.
If they had any inkling he was going to re-sign, and particularly do so on August 7th, there's no incentive to trade him.
No,
it's kind of it's a little bit, we've been talking about Ayuk. It's a little bit why the 49ers are requiring kind of a King's ransom for him in return, because they have him under contract.
Mm-hmm.
It hoses him if he decides not to play, because he just comes back next year in the same spot. And that's kind of the ultimate leverage the 49ers have here.
Well, that, and they can franchise tag him. So if you're traded, they can franchise tag.
So we'll get into that later. I want to stick on the Lauri Markkanen stuff, but that's kind of the same deal. Is the Jazz were going, yeah, we think we're going to sign this guy to an extension, but yeah, sure, if you want to give us 4 picks and 3 pick swaps and 2 good young players, we'll take it.
Yeah,
I guess we'll just do that. So I'm honestly, I'm kind of bummed. I was having a really great time watching all the Lauri Markkanen reporting that was just the same reporting over and over again.
Again, just like different spin. Yeah, and I think the biggest problem, the biggest bummer for this is that Lauri Markkanen at 7 foot tall with his ability to shoot and move, he would have been a really nice fit next to Sabonis.
Yeah.
Defensively, probably would have been an issue, but offensively, I think he would have been a good fit.
So I'm interested in the Jazz now. Because now it feels like they've kind of picked a direction.
Yeah.
And that was, so they're a weird team, because remember 2 seasons ago, the 22-23 season.
Mm-hmm.
22-23? Yeah. The 22-23 season, they were in the mix for the play-in and then just kind of pulled the plug over the final 25 games or so.
Yeah.
And stopped playing guys. And we had Sarah Todd before the season opener, Kings Jazz last year. And we said, is the expectation that they're gonna make a run? And she was like, yeah. They pulled the plug last year to try and tank. And now they're kind of ready to go. And then they wound up in the same spot where, okay, you like Keontae George and you like Lauri Markkanen, obviously. And okay, John Collins kind of an interesting player. Colin Sexton's there. They got Jordan Clarkson. they didn't make a lot of sense as a roster. But now, if you're committing big money to Lauri Markkanen, I think you're just kind of picking a direction now. This is the guy we're building around. He's 20. What is he? 26?
27.
27?
Yeah, 27.
It's okay. Like the timeline starts now, and I'm interested to see if now is Colin Sexton available? Is Jordan Clarkson going to be available? I don't think they're going to trade Keontae George. He looks like a good young player, but I'm interested to see what the Jazz are going to start doing now that they know they have Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah, I'm also intrigued because all of a sudden we're starting to hear that they might be a dark horse for Brandon Ingram, and maybe Walker Kessler makes sense going to New Orleans, and you could probably do like a John Collins, Walker Kessler to match salary, bring in Brandon Ingram, and all of a sudden Danny Ainge has done it again. He's rebuilt his team on the fly, and all of a sudden he's got super talented front line of Markkanen and Ingram, who take turns missing 20 games a year, but are really good when they're healthy.
Would that move the needle for you with the Pelicans if that happened? If they got John Collins and Walker Kessler?
Sure.
I think I'd feel better. I think I'd feel better about them if I'm a Pelicans fan.
Yeah. I mean,
I like
think
that front court.
At this point, they really have a huge issue in the front court.
Yeah.
Like they don't have a center at all. So
one of the other things with this Lauri Markkanen stuff, and I think I missed one of these messages, but I think this is what Ramsey's getting at in the chatty house. YouTube.com/ESPN1320 if you want to hang out with us in the chatty house. Highly recommend doing that. We always, I don't want to say we, because I don't want to lump you into this. I have been critical of Monty McNair and the whole like patience thing, like waiting for the perfect move. And it's like, dude, if you're always waiting for a bigger boat, you might wind up without a boat. Like that's kind of But at the same time, I will give him a ton of credit for not panicking and going, we need Lauri Markkanen right now. Yeah, fine. Here's Keegan Murray and 3 picks. Here, let's just go get Lauri.
Yeah,
because I think that was kind of what the Jazz were hoping a team would do. Even Golden State was big in the Jazz talks. And I think the Jazz were hoping they were going to be like, yeah, hey, here's Kuminga and Moody and Pajemski and all the post-Steph picks. There you go. You just have them. We need Lauri now. I do think if we're going to, again, I don't want to say if I'm going to sit here and say that I think Monty McNair is too patient at times or too conservative at times, I'll give him credit for not hitting the panic button to go get Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah, because the panic button there would have been costly. I mean, you're talking 3 first-round picks, maybe 4 first-round picks. You're talking pick swaps. You're talking the potential for Keegan Murray, like as part of some sort of combination. Like that's the only way to get him. That's what it feels like.
A massive overpay.
Yeah, even like when you hear, oh well, they were close. It's like, well, what does close mean? Does that mean 4 first-round picks and 2 pick swaps or something?
Right.
Including the 2031, which you already pick swapped. So it's not a great first-round pick anymore. But
it's the move we talked about yesterday. So they go and get DeMar DeRozan. That was I'm going to call that the path. They were standing at the start of a trail, and there were 6 or 7 different paths they could have gone down, however many. And they went the DeMar DeRozan path. That's where we're going. And now there's going to be different things choices they have to make along that path, but that's the route they're going. That's where they push their team. And I said yesterday, I thought they would have to make one more like seismic move to get into the championship contender category. And again, that's discounting that maybe Keegan Murray takes a leap and is an all-NBA guy, or Malik Monk takes another leap, or De'Aaron becomes an MVP, or whatever. In I think the realistic world, I think they got to make one more move. That Lauri Markkanen trade would have been it.
Oh, yeah.
And that would have been just it. Like, this is your team. This is the team you're trying to contend with. And I like Lauri Markkanen a lot. I don't think if the Kings had done that massive, Keegan Murray plus a bunch of picks, nobody's looking at the Kings and going, oh, they're winning a title. Like, that's a title contender. I'd be looking at them and going, oh, well, the defense. Because apparently that's just the go-to.
No, I agree. Like, you're still waiting for that one other move if they are going to become a true contender.
Yeah.
Right. I think right now that they are definitely a top 5-6 team in the West. They can be a top 3 team. They can be a top. So when I say top 5-6, I mean between 1 and
I think they're a playoff team.
Yeah. I think they're a playoff team too.
Yes.
I think things can go wrong and they can be a play-in team.
Can happen to every team.
Yeah, but I also think that there's a very good chance they're a playoff team, right?
Mhm.
But if you want to be considered like a contender,
Mhm.
like there's more that has to be done, and you're operating in a window.
Mhm.
Like you're operating in the 3-year, the 2 to 3-year window of DeMar DeRozan.
Mhm.
So again, that's where we keep coming back to this conversation. Is like, yeah, the one move, you want to be patient, you want to get the right move,
Mhm.
but at the same time, like that there has to be one.
Yeah, the size of the move, and this is where again I talked about
Yeah,
Monty McNair's patience. The size of the move will be dependent on, I think, what happens this year. DeMar
yeah,
DeRozan's fit and what DeMar DeRozan looks like at 35. Malik Monk,
yeah.
and frankly, all of the Kings and how they work with DeMar DeRozan, but the continued growth of Keegan Murray. What does that look like?
Mhm.
And I think that will determine, do the Kings need to make this monster move where they're trading one of those core guys to go get a better player at a different spot, or is it something a little more minor? And that's I think what we'll figure out. It's certainly, I don't think there was a world where it was ever going to be Lauri Markkanen.
No, I think that there
Is
was
my
they
overall thought.
tried. I mean, they gave it the old college try to go out and get Lauri Markkanen, but at the end of the day, it takes two to tango.
Yeah. Yep.
It's there's only so many players that fit your roster and like what you're trying to do, and like sometimes they're just not available.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's again what's made Brandon Ingram so appealing is that he is available.
Hmm.
It's what makes Kyle Kuzma so appealing is that he may or may not be available for the right price, but his contract is
Right.
certainly stunning.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like all of these pieces of like imperfect players that may fit perfect with you,
Hmm.
but as of right now, all we're not going to see that. It doesn't feel like.
Yeah. No, I'm right there. The Monty McNair said it. The core group of guys that they have is the one they're going into camp with.
Yeah.
Maybe there will be some moves on the margins, but I don't think any major moves are happening for the Kings. Leezy, you're on the Insiders. What's up, dude?
Yo, Kyle and Ham, am I on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's up, guys? I'm used to being called Don. Hey,
My bad, dog.
yo, it's all good. Hey, man, I was willing to call in and talk about Monty McNair and the Kings off season. Hey, I agree with everyone. I like DeRozan a lot. I think he's the safest pick Monty could have made, obviously, because of his money, because of his experience, and all that stuff. I think DeRozan is great. But Monty, he's been linked to so many players: Siakam, Kuzma, Levine, Lauri, all these players, and he never closed out on the big fish. Like I was saying, I think DeRozan is a safe pick, but I don't think he was the best pick for the Kings. And also, like, yeah, DeRozan is great, but why couldn't we get Caruso as well? It's not like the Thunder offered like anything great for Caruso. I feel like that's another thing we missed out on. So I think Kings offseason went good, but I think it could have went better as well.
Thanks, Lizzie. Appreciate you. I actually don't think they could have made a better offer than the Thunder did.
I agree with you.
I know that Josh Giddey got a weird case and stuff, and I know that he wasn't good in the playoffs. But Josh Giddey is if you're the Bulls and you're looking to get a young player in the building who is a playmaker and has room to grow, I think Josh Giddey is probably the best player that they were going to get, player for player, with Alex Caruso.
Yeah, I agree.
I,
Yeah, I mean, this kind of looks again. It looks like the PJ Washington trade.
mm-hmm.
Like you didn't have Grant Williams in a first round pick to give up.
Yep.
So you're not going to get him. And like there are trades that I want to, light the Kings up for. But then there are other trades where you're like, hey, look, you tell me the path. Where's the path to get that player?
Mm-hmm.
And the value that team gave up. Like there's a certain amount of value that PJ Washington had for the Dallas Mavericks versus the Kings. And the Kings didn't have that same exact need and sort of value proposition that they had.
I think I disagree with the Monty McNair big fish thing. I don't know that what it would have taken to acquire Brandon Ingram would have been a better move for Sacramento than DeRozan. And we just talked about Markkanen. I don't think Markkanen was actually ever realistically available.
No, I don't think he was
except for a massive overpay. And now you have the Pelicans who don't even want to sign Brandon Ingram to a max extension, and he's been there. Yep. They don't want to sign him to a max deal. And they didn't trade him probably because there was no team out there who was willing to sign him to a max deal. So they wanted the world for what was basically going to be a rental.
Mhm.
And so I don't. I have a. I understand the sentiment, but I also don't. I don't have any major beef with anything the Kings didn't do this offseason.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we may find out down the road what it was that some of these players were going to cost,
Mhm.
and like these deals may come back around,
Mhm.
right? We don't know at this point, but for me, it's like you want them to swing, but it's got to be right,
Mhm.
right? You can't just put your franchise in a really really awkward, like destructive, like position long term.
Mhm.
We do have a wild turn of events here. France is up 76-66 over Team Canada in basketball with a minute left.
Were
Evan
they down?
Fournier,
Were they down?
Evan Fournier just hit a three to sort of put this game away, and it looks like France is going to
Was
knock off
Canada
Canada.
leading?
No, no, no.
Oh, okay.
But
That's
Canada
nuts, dude.
Canada was a favorite.
Yeah, can't. Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
So France is currently they bench Rudy Gobert in this
Mhm.
game to go quicker, and went with Wembanyama and Nick Batum on the front line, and I don't even think Gobert has played. Oh no, Gobert has played, but not very much.
That's wild, man.
Dylan Brooks talked all that mess, talked all that trash.
And gone.
1 of 9 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3.
Yikes, man.
Good for you, Dylan Brooks.
Tough scene. Yeah. Canada's got a lot of NBA players on it.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray got a little exposed.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray might.
Our
Needs
guy Trey
Jokic.
Lyles, I was hoping he would medal.
I
And
know,
I
so you
think
could ask him about
I
it.
think this takes him out of medal, right? Yeah, because
I
this
think
is
so.
to
Yeah,
get
there's a
down to
lot
the
of
final
teams
4
left.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.